Oh, there we go.
Ah. There we go. About time, Jiggy Joe.
About time.
That's a nice size one.
Birthday.
Oh, doubles.
Doubles, let's go, birthday doubles.
Actually came back for it. And a 164 ounce. Yeah, you might want to think about using the micros. Either that or get rid of the bobber and see if that changes things, but they're being so lethargic. There we go. Yeah, you were doing good at Gregory that one time.
Yeah.
That was fun. The spoons are real hit and miss with me, like most of the time. This time I fish a lot. Seems like during the height of season when it's real cold, you can get them, but it's not like this time of year, you know? Come here, son. There we go. Chunky bro. All right, guys, I want to take a minute to show you the different retrieve styles that I'm doing. It's basically two. And the first one is just the basic standard retrieve, but we're going extra slow because that's a 1/64 ounce micro jig, real tiny bait, real light bait. And we want to go as slow as we possibly can because these fish are really hot, it's really warm, and they're really lethargic. So we're trying to serve up a real easy meal for them, and that's what's been working. So we just keep, if you notice the reel, just keep going super slow, barely bouncing it, and right about here I think I get hooked up. All right, here's the second style of retrieve I was doing. I figured this out later in the day. Basically, this one's with pauses. They started hitting on the pause. In fact, right there, I'm describing how I just got hit. But same retrieve, just watch for pauses, and that's when they pick it up. And boom, right there, get hit up. So right now I'm telling them I think I figured them out. It's been a while since we've gotten hit, and once I started doing pauses, it was back on. So that shows you, always change your retrieve. If you're not getting bit and you're sure the fish are around, do something a little bit different, and that's how you end up hooking up. Yeah, smart enough they really know how to fight good. Those micro minnows tearing it up. Finally on Lou Ferrigno. The mighty Lou. Yeah, Lou Ferrigno micro jig. There we go. I did. Finally got one on Full Metal Jacket. So now I can move back to oh, where's your bobber at? Is it down? Oh. Trying to keep him out of it. Cool. Oh, skilled release. Perfect. All right, let's go back to black. All right, ladies and gents, there you have it. Good times out at Green Valley, but very hot times, unfortunately. We were able to get into the fish, but you could tell some of them they would bite. We'd get them to bite, but they were very lethargic. The water is extremely warm to the touch. I didn't get a temperature reading on it, but it's up there. Good news is they have aerators up there. What usually kills trout is not the temperature of the water itself, it's the lack of oxygen that the high temperature brings. But since they have aerators, Big Bear Lake has an aerator, the fish will survive. In fact, I was seeing posts recently out at Lake Palmdale, the Fin and Feather Club. They are catching limits of trout out there. They have triple-digit heat out there because it's Palmdale, but they have aerators in the water. That lake is only 30 feet deep. It doesn't have the oxygen problems that high elevation lake like Green Valley or Big Bear would have. So all those fish are probably doing is getting close to the aerator and hanging on, and they're doing okay. So it seems to me that a lot of these trout will survive year round in Southern California as long as the lake has aeration, as long as the lake has good oxygen in it. They can make it. So I'm actually going to take a run up to the Fin and Feather and check it out, see how the fish look. From the pictures, they even looked healthy. They didn't look pale. They looked like they had real bright, vibrant colors. So maybe they do fine. We shall see. But anytime fish are shy to bite, I always like to size down and slow down, even slower with those 1/64th ounce micro minnows and jigs. You fish them ultra slow, and in fact you saw it later in the day, they wanted a pause, so they wanted it stopped and then they would smack it. So always change up your retrieve, always try different things. That's literally the difference between catching and not catching sometimes. Like we must have fished for a good hour and a half, 2 hours before I started working pauses into my retrieve, and all of a sudden the fish started biting again. So probably had a bunch of followers, but that water's so green with algae, you couldn't see them, but they could see the jigs. So I know they blue stoned the water that day while we were up there, so hopefully that'll clear up. The fish will be fine for the most part. They're probably gonna at this point they're probably close to the bottom where it's or in the water as deep as they can get, where it's cold as possible, just hanging out and not eating much. And it's going to be that way probably into mid-September unless it cools down significantly, but usually it doesn't. But as soon as it cools down, there are a ton of trout up in that lake. Big Bear as well. So mid-September, early October, I'm looking at both those places to really start heating up the fishing action. So keep your eye on that. Right now, I think either turn your sights on the Eastern Sierra if you want trout, or you start going out on the charter boats or go to the beach or start fishing catfish and carp and bass, because trout is going to be a little bit tougher to come by for at least 4 to 6 weeks. And with that, if you want any of these micro jigs or micro minnows that Golden State Fishing makes, there's a QR code right up here. It'll take you to a link tree. And the hyperlink will be in there, take you right there. If you enter in code CSpanker at checkout, you get 10% off. Likewise with the RHA spoons, there's a QR code right here as well as a hyperlink in the video's description. If you make a purchase over $25 and you enter in code GETHOOKED, you get 10% off. That's GETHOOKED, you get 10% off. And the water lens sunglasses I use all the time, hit the QR code here or check out the hyperlink in the video's description. If you make a purchase, you get 15% off. Now, all you got to do with that one, you don't have to enter a code anymore. Just use either the QR code link or the hyperlink in the video's description, and the discount code of 15% will automatically be applied. So as always, make sure you like and subscribe. Check out my Instagram at CSpanker Outdoors. That's the best way to get up-to-date information on the lakes. Usually I'll post day of or day after when I'm at a lake and what I've caught, because sometimes I get behind with these videos, and it's a few weeks, if not several weeks behind schedule. So if you want up-to-date information, always go to the Instagram at CSpanker Outdoors. And coming up, yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I got a bunch of Eastern Sierra videos I gotta put out, so there will be content coming your way. But as far as fishing, I may check out Gregory. I may go back to Green Valley just to see what's what, if the bite really is suppressed that much. May go out to the Fin and Feather and check out the trout out there. It'd be interesting to catch trout in triple digit weather. So we'll see. Really starting to focus on next season, and late October, early November for the Sierras. Usually the fishing gets real good up there, so lots of things coming up. So we'll see you out there. Tight lines.